These guys are going to start off.
I wanted to thank you guys from day one. The class you showed, the mercy, the grace that you showed us, each other. We graduated and then nobody told us not to come back, so we kept coming back. And we learned more after we graduated probably than while we were students. But you guys made that possible. You guys made that a joy, and we appreciate you guys.
Do not underestimate who you are, because who you are in here and where I've been out with you has changed me. So thank you.
You have no idea how much I enjoy coming here on Monday nights. I travel a great deal, and I'm in town Monday nights for this. I don't miss it because I'm watching people just come alive, just finding purpose in your life and hearing the voice of God and obeying. And it's such an honor and such a privilege to be here and to watch what he's doing. And I'm just humbled. And for a lot of years I tried to be this and tried to be that. And now all I want to be is just here, just enjoying his presence. And you don't have to squeeze hard to produce anything. You don't have to be anything. We're not holding you to some great standard. We're saying be who you are and just let Jesus shine through. That's our desire for each and every one of you, that you don't have to be a pastor, you don't have to have a ministry gift, you don't have to have a prophetic word, you don't have to have anything. Just have the Father, and all that just comes right along. So what are we doing now, Dan?
Right here.
Right here, buddy.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do.
2 minutes, or 1 minute now, because George took up 3. So. 1.5.
You just gave him a break.
I know.
Yeah, we can do 2. Here we go. There we go.
This is my wife. And the Lord put somebody in my life that meant something to me and talked me into giving a different show, or I'm sitting there stumbling in the mouth. I'm sorry.
What he's trying to say is that God put us together, and God put us in DSSM, and we have grown so much. We have grown so much. And Mother Teresa back here and Daddy Kevin, because they've pulled us through and out of some muck. And they've been good to us. And these two, I don't know what else to say. But God has pulled us into a ministry. And we've got a big calling on our heart to go talk to motorcycle people and people on the streets. And we're moving forward with that. Now, you want a second?
I second that.
Okay. Next.
I just, a few weeks ago, my husband and I went to kind of a training that was a parent training for children of trauma, and they showed different ways children respond to their parents, babies, or would respond to their caregiver, children who were not sure of how their parents would respond to them. Would they, are they gonna, would they be abused? And just, like arms behind their back. Do I look? And then children that were sure of their caregiver's response, cry and then lift their arms up and just run towards them and then, embrace them. And I think that's kind of just for me, kind of a summary of this year of being sure that every time you enter Father's presence, you can always be sure of how you're received. It doesn't matter. And just that surety, I don't know, that's not even a word, but assurance, changes the way you also interact with other people, of course, and do ministry, no matter how much experience or knowledge or whatever you have. That assurance is kind of the foundation. So.
Amen. Well, DSSM has been my lifeline to the Father.
That's awesome. So DSSM has been to me pretty much the last 2 years of my life. God has really been working in me, the people around me, to essentially bust me out of the box so he could get out of the box. That's been really hard. So everything this semester has just been a continual confirmation day, week after week. All the books that we've read, all of the different teachings that we've had, just right on the money, and it's just so awesome to see God show up in your life like that, and just see everybody and how wonderfully loved you are and accepted you are. And that really does make a difference, because where I came from and where I'm going are two separate places. And, it is so awesome, to be around people who are like-minded, because our iron sure does sharpen other people's iron. And it's so nice to, rub up against each other and get each other all fired up. It's the truth, because when you have lived and you were raised in a box and you've put God in a box, when those walls come, down, God shows up in the most craziest, wildest, it's just mind blowing. And DSSM to me has really helped to just be able for me to just keep on stepping and keep on walking and keep on going, because it does make a difference to people who've been hurt, and I'm healing. And so I thank God for you guys. I thank God for all of my, friends and yes, my 2 minutes, but I just wanted to say thank you. I love you, and God bless.
So yeah, it's kind of similar, but Kevin and I actually 2 years ago, 2.5, I don't even know how long ago, we audited the whole entire first year. We couldn't get enough. We were so hungry. And then we left town. And God said, I really just want you to come back now. And then we were here again. And I thought to myself, well, I've already done this. Like, I don't know, how much more can I, read this book and, that kind of thing. And man, I don't know if it's the obedience of stepping into it twice, but kind of the same thing about being in a box. I know, I've been called to be wild and free. and DSSM has given me the space, a safe and secure place to step out of the box and step into my wild and free with my Father. And it has been awesome. And I just want to keep going. It's just not enough to, I just want more and more and more and more. And it's just awesome. And I was saying to them, I cannot wait for second year. This is going to blow doors. It's going to be awesome. So it's been great.
Praise God. The first time that we audited the entire semester, I got this picture one night of this armor that the Father was giving me, and it was hardened black out of fire, the fire of God, and I was kneeling down to receive the honor. I felt a hand on my right shoulder and a hand on my left shoulder, and I look around, and it's two brothers of the faith who are going to stand next to me, who always have my back and who are always with me. And then and we stood up together, and I knew that I could always count on them being there. And then there was an older, a general, come stand in front of me, and we were going to get orders from him and directions from him. And I was like just brought to tears because I've always wanted that brotherhood, that person to stand beside me. And then I don't know if it was that night or the next day, I realized, oh, that was Jesus, and that was Holy Spirit, and that was God. I don't have to wait for those brothers to come in. I have Jesus and the Holy Spirit fighting for me, taking directions from the Father. And I feel like this year has been I already have the armor, and now I'm learning how to use the weapons. Learning how to use the weapons of worship and the weapons of prayer and the weapon of unity among the body of believers. And it's been such a rush to receive the freedom through all of those things, the freedom to pray and see things answered, because I'm praying out of an identity of being a son as opposed to being an orphan. And just like to get your prayers answered is amazing. And then to be free in worship and to feel the presence of God and to feel things fall off of you and to break things off of other people through that has been amazing. And just to feel the family aspect of the believers here has been such a blessing to my heart. And I love you all.
So the word that I keep hearing, and I've heard it all semester long, is process. I've fallen in love with the process that God has for each and every one of us. And I didn't realize how much I thought like an orphan until I came to DSSM, and it just, all of this stuff just started just falling off of me. And about a few weeks ago, when we had, I think it was Michelle that was here speaking, I had my first intense godly encounter. And God just sort of just took me into a montage of my life. Every painful memory that I'd ever had that I didn't even want to think about anymore, he brought that back to me. But for the first time, instead of feeling all that pain, I saw him with me that entire time. And I just stood there like in astonishment, because for the first time in my life, I was like, Lord, you were there the entire time. You knew me before I was even created. This was all part of his plan. This is all part of his process. But if I hadn't come here to DSSM, I would have never figured out about that process, and I never would have fallen in love with the process. And I'm so far in love with it that I just have to spread it everywhere I go. And I can't wait for second year, because I came here a meek little mouse. I am a roaring lion now.
Well, I'm like Rachel. I came in not realizing that I had an orphan spirit. My husband's been in the ministry, and some of you know him. He's a outgoing, flamboyant personality, and I tend to fall in his shadow a lot of times, where even people don't even know who I was. And coming here, and God was reinforcing that I am his daughter, and he sees me as a separate person from him, and it just it's revolutionizing. I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't have to have him to support me, and I can be a separate person. And then, I accidentally set an objective when I was interviewing for first year. I said I'd like to be more intentional in the creative arts, and I have stepped into that and have come a few times, and it's really cool. It is just an awesome way. It's a ministry where you're doing prophetic, not just you're doing a visual and a written word, and I think because they can take that with them. Sometimes they forget what they hear, but if they see something, you remember so much more of what God's saying to you in the visual than just hearing it.
Well, I don't know where to begin. I think I could write a book on the things that have changed me, but the book selection is just blew me away, and I guess my background has always been in religion, so it's just blown that out of the water. And I'm thinking, I didn't even know some of these things were available. And so I guess I think back to the song, When All Is Stripped Away and I Simply Come. And I think, all the times you've had preconceived notions and been in that performance mode, you're always looking at people through the performance mode, and to lay all that down and to just simply come and look at a person's heart, the intimacy of that person's heart, and for them to share just a little piece of it. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I was so, that was so stupid to think that way, because this person is just absolutely awesome. And then to see God and love them as God loves them, and then to see, you don't see any more people that are turkeys or, ornery or arrogant, or they think too much of themselves or whatever. You see them as their wounds. Just realizing that we all have wounds and that they have to be healed. And so my deep desire is to become a part of an inner healing team to, bring inner healing. I'm a part of a Dogwood Ranch, which is ministers to foster kids that have had very traumatic events. And we're going to be opening a new thing where we're going to take in transitional people and maybe people that have been homeless or whatever. And I just really would like to be able to bring that inner healing to that.
No, right here. Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
DSSM has changed every area of my life. I came here, I was really hurt and I was really broken. And I even talked to Joey about moving away. I thought, well, I'll just wait on you, God, and just come audit. But then when I came to audit, I just got sucked in. And now I look back, and if I would have moved away, I would have missed all this. And thank you, everybody that has just loved me and ministered to me, because I feel totally whole now, totally content in whatever state that I'm in for probably the first time in a long, long time.
Standing here thinking, what am I going to say? So this is my first semester, and I'm so glad I came. Thank you, Dan, talking to me. I guess I just want to say that I came in very broken, kind of similar. Have just been through a rough last, 10 years. And just needed relief and the love of the Father, and he's just been piecing me back together. And that's kind of what I feel like. Everything had shattered, and he's just slowly, rebuilding. Yes. So just a lot of fear breaking off, a lot of freedom, joy returning, being restored. And that's my calling: beauty, joy, and so I just see it coming up. I'm coming up, rising. So it's good. And thank you.
Oh my, that's a lot to follow. I came here seeking more of God. I wanted more of God. I wanted to understand how I could walk like Jesus, because I knew what the Word said, but I didn't know how to do it. And I needed some freedom to do that in. And I got all of that here and more. Because I didn't know that, I knew I was a daughter, but I didn't really know everything a daughter was. And so now I know that I don't have to be good enough. All I have to do is love. Amen.
Right after Easter, a book idea came to me, and I don't think it's and it's kind of interfered with my classwork. I finally got done with it late last night because I'm working on the book also, but I don't think it's any coincidence that I finished the book with the same hour I finished my homework. And the book incorporates so much of what we learned in this first semester. And, it's on abuse, and it's about being a daughter. Sorry, just the way it happened. And shows how the daughter is so honored out of the abuse that she lived in before. And a lot of it's because of this class, and it just grew on its own because of this class. And so if anyone knows an editor, I need one so I can get it published.
I'm a first semester student and kind of an old stick in the mud, and as my tribe will tell you. But I really enjoyed the teachings, and the worship was awesome. And I think that I value the prophetic a lot more than I used to. I used to kind of just fluff it off, and I received some words that were strong. And
Thank you, Father.
I'm most grateful for learning people's hearts. That just has, settles a lot in me to see the individual beauty in this room. And I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Amen.
When I first came here as an auditor, I felt the love. There's such an atmosphere that's been cultivated, and the honor. And then as we began to read the books about experiencing Father's embrace and cultivate, the culture of honor, and now keep the fire burning, I can see how you've actually walked them out. And so I really appreciate that, and I feel loved, and I feel like I belong to his family. And I drive, I live out of town 2 hours, but a church alive is worth the drive. One message that I heard yesterday was how the Lord's going to open doors for us. And I know with DSSM, he has opened many doors for me. And another part of that message is God blesses us so that we can become a door, so that we're going to be able to be a blessing to other people. And one experience I briefly want to share is when we had our missions trip to Lebanon, and we took bags of gifts to people who lived in low-income homes, in trailer homes. And it took me right back to when I was a child, and how thankful I was to be that dirty-faced child in clothes that didn't fit me, and to receive love. And as I walked the broken road with Teresa, I said, this just looks like my street that I grew up on. I remember the broken road, but yet I remembered the streets of gold in heaven. So as that young child, I saw the broken road paved in gold. I thought the streets of heaven would be just like that broken road, but gold. And as I walked that, I also realized the Lord had been with me all my life. And that when I got off his will for my life, and I was on a broken road, I see his hand was still protecting me on that broken road. And so I'm thankful for the love and the outreach that DSSM provides to those people, because I was in that situation. And so it just connected me back to where I was as a child, and now that God's used me to be a blessing to reach out to them. God bless you all.
Wow. It's amazing. I can identify with a couple of ladies who spoke a little bit ago about brokenness. I've walked with the Lord many years, but up until about 5-6 years ago, things got hard. And it was difficult. And I've been coming to Dayspring it'll be 3 years in May or June. And I just started DSSM this is my first semester. And it is awesome. I feel the love of the Lord again. Not just for me, but I can feel his love in me for others that I haven't felt in a while. And I'm so thankful for that. And I know in the interview I talked to Teresa and Kevin that I wanted to serve. I don't have any particular aspirations or anything like that. I just want to serve, and I just want to love others. And now I feel that love coming out, and I am so thankful for that.
Teresa, do you remember our interview? My husband and I, they started out laughing, and I would refuse to laugh. And I was like, I'm not going to act silly and goofy, but I ended up doing that anyway. So anyway, yeah, it was not pretty. But for me, I had lost my husband and my son and remarried all within 10 months. So my identity was completely gone. I didn't know who I was or what I was even doing or what I was supposed to be doing. And so when I heard that DSSM was the main focus was identity, I knew that I had to be here. And we came and audited one night, and I was like, no, I have to go in all the way. And so during this time, I've learned mostly about the love that the Father has for me. And through that love, I've been able to love other people on a level that I couldn't before. And we went on our missions trip to Niangua, and we were told that we needed to, be prepared to work. And so I have a cleaning business, so I'm thinking, manual labor. So I'm in my head was ready to go work. And then when we got there, the whole thing shifted, and it was just more about building relationships and loving the people that we were visiting, and loving them the way the Father wanted them to know that he loves them. And so when we came back about a week later, the Lord said, do you remember your trip to Niangua? And I said, yeah. And he said, did you notice how the difference between your work and my work? And I was, yeah. And, because it was easy, it was fun. And, I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that work the rest of my life.
So, it goes without saying that God's changed a lot of things within me this semester. And the culture of honor was so good and great for our marriage, or at least my portion of that. I don't know. Anyway, but the thing that has spoke to me the loudest has been that DSSM started out as a discussion with the Father and an idea. And now here we are. And every life that this place touches, even by extension of the ripple effect, is changed so dramatically. Whole families and everything. And God is calling Leslie and I to go start something. And I am so inspired that all it takes is an idea from the Lord, because he will back it up, and this place is proof. It's amazing. Yeah. Oh, hi there. Yeah. I need to go back and read that book again.
It's okay, we're one. Well, my journey with DSSM has been my entire time in Missouri, pretty much. I moved here 2.5, almost 3 years ago, and from some pretty broken places. And so I audited my first semester at DSSM. It was the second semester, and then last year I was a student. And the second semester, so I can identify with a couple of things. Last year, during second semester, I hit some pretty big walls, and I tried to run. I tried to move. I tried, and I didn't finish DSSM. I came very close, but I was here, and I was trying to run, and then I was here, and then the Lord challenged me to stay here, and during that process, like pretty quickly after I said yes, I would stay, he introduced me to Chris again, because the first time I wouldn't see him this way, but he introduced me to him again in a new way that was beyond friendship, and said that he would be the one that would carry us. He's our leader. Anyway, we got married this summer, and then we had some pretty hard times. We had a miscarriage, and we just had some things happen. And then he told us at Christmas that we were going to move to Mississippi, where my family has land, and we were going to consecrate that land for him, and that would be a mission there, and that we would be doing something similar to DSSM in Mississippi. There's a hungry group of people that want more of the Spirit there. So we've been in prayer with the DSSM leadership to just help us, guide us. And so their first step for us was for me to finish. And I'm so grateful that I did. And for Chris to do this with me. And this has been such a big blessing. And I don't even know what our next step is. I'm in such a whirlwind. But we've received so much healing and prayer and support and new friendships and new connections. So keep us in your prayers on that, and then be prepared to come to a mission trip to see us for our school in a couple of years.
So DSSM was definitely different for me. Brought me out of my comfort zone. Like Monday nights, I like to sleep after school. Having to come here for 3.5 hours or something like that. I don't know. But it was definitely an eye-opener, because I came here, broken, after everything that had happened over the years, and I honestly didn't know what I was wanting to do. I wasn't doing good in school. I wasn't using common sense or anything. I'd just be like, oh, that looks cool, let's do that, and then get hurt in the process. And then, like doing all the homework and everything, I just sit there and be like, why do I need to do this homework? Why do I even need to be here? And Lord's just like, why don't you just use your brain for once? And so I started trying to use my brain, and like through the process, I feel like I've definitely been doing a lot better in school. I went from like C's and D's to A's and B's. So, so I definitely feel like DSSM has helped a lot with like the healing process, and I feel like I might actually be able to function in today's society.
So this past Valentine's Day for my husband and I marked 18 years in youth ministry. And throughout most of that 18 years, I kind of stayed behind him in the shadows and didn't step out and do a whole lot. And it seemed like every time I would start to step up and be more involved, then something would happen and I would just shrink back again. And when we first came to Dayspring in September, we'd been here for just a few weeks, and before I even really understood what a prophetic word was, I was given a prophetic word that it was time for me to step out from the shadows from behind my husband and stand and minister beside my husband. And I have known that entire time that the calling was not just his, it was mine as well. But I had shrunk back from that so much. And coming to DSSM and learning, really who I am in Christ and understanding the calling that I have has just taken me so far and increased my boldness and my confidence, knowing that God has placed gifts in me. It's not just about my husband, it's about us as a team, and the things that he has placed in me are a complement to what he has placed in my husband. And together we can accomplish so much more for the kingdom than if I just stand back and let him do it all. And so it has just been a really powerful thing, to the point that this last month I actually taught a breakout session during our youth conference, and it was just a really powerful thing. So
DSSM has only been amazing and awesome, and I can't tell you how much my life has changed. First of all, I just want to thank leadership for the love that you poured into us. It's been amazing. The shoving out of the box was okay. It was good. Because there's always love in it. You don't know how much that box has been in my life, so to get shoved out was a little scary. But I am so grateful to the leadership and everybody here for the family, because the greatest thing in life is to get out of that box and to know beyond the shadow of a doubt who I am and who my daddy is. And I really feel like y'all have accomplished what you set out to, because that was the goal of the year. And I've got it, and I'm wrapping my head around it. And I don't know why, but I think the world needs to be scared, because I'm really getting pumped. And I've watched my husband and my son. We've come through this together as a family, and what it's doing in our family dynamic is amazing. I'm just ready to set the world on fire.
This is kind of unusual. I'm normally not speechless, but for some reason I am tonight. There are not words. To explain what this has meant, as Sherry said, for us. The changes that I have seen in her, that I have seen in Casey, and that I know have happened in myself are just amazing. When a little over a year ago, was the first time we'd ever set foot in Dayspring. You talk about, life is all about fine, thin threads. And because of some people that we had went to church with years ago, we came to Dayspring. And we heard about DSSM. And I don't even know if the other two even really wanted to come. I just got excited when I heard about it and said, I'm going, you might as well go with me. But it was a hunger for more. That hunger that God placed inside of me and of them too. And God honors what He places inside of you. He has placed all kinds of things in each one of us. And through the mission trip that we went on, I saw some amazing things and some amazing people, and made some friends probably for life. But God showed me there, if you're willing, all you've got to do is put that first foot forward. And I've got your back, buddy. Amen. And I'm faithful, and I'll carry you through.
So DSSM has helped me grow so much. And when I got here, there was a gift that I had wanted, but I didn't realize that I had. And actually, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you helped me realize that I had a prophetic gifting. And what God has done with that in such a short amount of time, I was able to prophesy at the healing rooms at Dayspring and this Sunday at Hope 45. And just to hear, like, the people that you prophesy over, and they're like, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that. And just to be able to make that impact on their life has been really cool.
No pain, no gain. That's been my theme, I think. You can be a ship in the middle of a massive storm. Beyond that ship, and you can still grow and still learn. And still love and heal and fix things. Even if you don't see the port. The lighthouse is out there. Just stay on the ship. You'll see it eventually. You just feel lost. It'll be there. You'll eventually get to port.
Praise the Lord. God used two people to get me here. First, he used Don Johnson. I met him 5 years ago in church. I just saw him standing on the wall, so I decided to stand on the wall and check him out. But I noticed this guy was riding a bicycle from Willard to school, and when his car was down, he was like hitchhiking here, and I'm going like, what is over there that make a man want to hitchhike that far? And so I noticed his behavior. I thought at first, because I'm so cool, that he was weird, and so I'm going like, he's pretty weird, but like God did that, and so I always kept that in my heart, like I could see a transformation that he was on to this love stuff, and it was like, and then I guess when the time was right, Robin Pamil, she approached me in church one Sunday and just like kind of scared me, like God is telling me to tell you something, and I guess she had been here a while, and she was running around church like I'd never seen her before, and so it was like more. I want the more. I don't know what is the more, and so so they were two people God used to get me here. Coming here, what came here, I thought it was like in a nice package and everything, and God just broke out all that wrapping and stuff just quickly. When I got saved, my grandparents were Pentecostal people, so the first book I read was Sinners in the Hand of an Angry God. by Jonathan Edwards, because they were talking about revival. And somewhere in my psyche, God was angry. He was, and I always felt like I was messed up, so God was angry at me at times. But that's not the Father. He's not mad at you. He's not mad at me. He's not mad. We can't do things and make him mad at us. He's already given us what we need and the grace to get there. So, this has been, God told me if I come, I'm going to just connect you with people who can open you up, because you're pretty closed. So, I met some people who opened me up.
Joy. There's really a testimony behind this thing that I have about joy, but we don't have time for that. But yeah, so I spend maybe 7 days a week on this property. I'm trying to improve on that. Long days, short days. There's always something to be done around the church. And I love it. I'm not complaining. I love it. But with all the different hats that have to be worn, I forgot how to be a kid. I don't need any sympathy. You know what I'm talking about. All of you have experienced the same thing. And so I just thank everybody here that's allowed me to kind of act like a child and a kid, and it's going to get worse next semester. So, anyway, you've been warned. So, but I was given some instructions at the end that we as a class, this semester class, want to honor all of the leadership. So leadership, would you stand up? Everybody from Dan on down to whatever, because everybody in this room wants to honor you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless.
Oh, we got 10 minutes. Hang on. Tribe leaders, you got something? Second year graduates, do you have something? Come on. I thought so, Lori. You be first, Lori.
As most of you know, I started with the soft start, and I haven't been able to leave. It's been such an incredible thing to be a part of not only the first year, the second year. I think I've been a tribe leader for 2 years, I think. But what is so amazing is knowing when you're really ready to be released. And I'm ready to be released. He's given me a dream. In the second year, it would be, I guess, fall of 2015, he gave me a dream that restored all my hope and my purpose. And I'm excited and I'm ready to share everything that God has poured into me through this school. and through everyone here. And I want every one of you to know that he's got an amazing plan for every single one of you. And just say yes. Just say yes to it. And don't overthink it. And he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Thank you.
I just wanted to give my testimony about what DSSM has done for me. I came in a box too, pretty big, tall, high, wide box, and with a very religious background. And it started with worship. God just put that in me. It was like, I want more. I mean, I wanted to raise my hands, and I felt weird going like this. So he started with worship, and then he started with prayer. And the next thing I know, I'm a prophetic intercessor and a worshiper and free. And but it's as much as he's done in me, what he's done in me is extended to my family. I can't even begin to tell you what all has happened in my family. I mean, it's been amazing. So I can't leave either. I mean, I told him, I said, well, I guess if you're not going to make me a tribe leader, I'm just going to come and audit. I don't know. Because I thought about it when they asked me. I thought, well, I can't imagine not being here. And having done it for just the one semester, I love seeing what God does. I think it was, who was it that came with Heidi Baker, the young guy with the ministry in Tennessee? He was long hair. No, it wasn't Todd White. Anyway, it wasn't him. Anyway, yes, that's who it was, Lyle Phillips. I'll never forget it. Maybe forget him, but I'll never forget what he said. But he said, I just want to be where God's doing stuff. And I mean, that's what it is. You want to be somewhere where people believe, first of all, that God really is doing stuff. And you want to watch him do stuff. So I want to thank you all for being obedient and for being open to all of that, and for putting yourselves out there to be a family, because I feel like probably more than ever that this is my 5th semester. I think that this is God is not ever done doing stuff. I mean, he's just every semester I think is getting better and better, and that's just because the kingdom is coming. The kingdom is crashing in, and there's nothing else we can do about it. So anyway, I just want to say thank you and encourage you all to, just keep going. Keep doing it.
So when Day Spring School of Supernatural Ministry started, I knew I had to be a part of it because I was in a journey getting closer with God, and yet some of the worst things in the natural were happening in my life. I had a broken shoulder, couldn't work. And in fact, the very first day, my car ran out of gas, and I just got a ride here. Didn't know how I was getting home the whole night. I didn't even think about that. I just focused on the evening, got a ride to my car, and that's how it started. That's how it always was. I just knew I needed to be here. And so many things have come out of this. A whole worship community has grown kind of part of this. It's right now, we even have my wife and I have a ministry because of what's grown from this. Everything is all growing in the love of the Father, how he loves you and how how we show that love to everyone around us. Going everywhere we go and praying for others is so natural now. It's actually like having this conversation right now. Everywhere we go, whether it's a restaurant or anything, always just give words to people and pray for people. It's just natural. It's not even, you don't even have to think about it anymore or say, it's not even hardly nervousness anymore, because it's just having a conversation. And that is what showing the love of the Father is to people, because when we have a conversation with the Father, which is what he wants, is a relationship, when we're doing that with everyone when we meet, whether it's somebody getting gas next to you or someone serving you at a restaurant, it's learning to just through a conversation with them say, how can I bless you? What do you need? What can I give to you? You're given to me just by serving me. What can I do for you? And this community, and it's like some other people have said, I haven't been able to leave. It's just, I love the community here. I love giving here. I love touching people's lives, and being a part of this is something that has impacted my life. My wife, our relationship has grown through this, and in fact, it started while I was going here. And of course, she's going to be graduating here now too, and it's just an amazing place to grow in the love of the Father, and then to show that love to others. It's one way when I describe to people, I'm probably one of those people that is always out there just saying, when they're saying, what are you doing? I always talk about this place. It's not a school of book learning. It's a heart school. It's a school of the heart, where you learn the Father's heart for you and how to show it to others. Thank you.
I just want to remind you that even the thoughts that we have, God knows. Because I can remember years ago, thinking I wanted to go to Bible school. And didn't have a particular plan, didn't have anything particularly in mind. It was just a thought. But God takes our thoughts and he does something with them. And so like Barb and I, that's how I met Barb, is that we had come here with some others just to audit. It's that standard line, I just came to audit. And it ended up being more. And graduated. And so I have to remind myself of doing that. And this semester being a tribe leader, I continued to learn. Being back in the first year again, it's just, you've heard it, but you hear it all over again. And it's just wonderful. The teachers, the information, the students, because I want them more. I want them more. And you want them more. We're all here on Monday nights because we want them more. And I'm so grateful for each of you. Got to know you more this year, maybe not as much, we'll be taking the break. But the thing is, even though we take that break, we continue to take DSSM with us, because what it has done within us, and the books, and just each other, and what God does, just what God does within us, the identity. Just that continuing to grow in our identity is just so important. So anyway, I'm so thankful for this school. I'm so thankful, and I'm thankful for each of you. So